Welcome to Violet Connie Art. I have day 2 of Inktober. I'm on a bit of a roll and I'm feeling really pumped about doing Inktober. Today's prompt is Mindless, so I thought why not upload another video today. I definitely know I won't keep up with this, but while I've got the motivation, why not? So for Mindless today, I decided to sketch out a picture of a skull because it doesn't have a brain inside of it. I struggled with this prompt as well, probably more so than the one from yesterday with ring, but I did kind of come up with a few things. So I thought maybe of like jellyfish or sea anemones or starfish. They're kind of mindless creatures. That's all I kind of came up with because it is quite an ambiguous prompt. It's more of an abstract thing, being mindless, rather than a concrete thing, which I think I struggle with a little bit. But I do really love how this picture turned out. I put a lot of detail into it, so this one took me around an hour and a half from start to finish today. I scribbled on the back after I did it in my sketchbook, and then I traced over it onto the card. That's how I got it over. Usually I use a bit of tracing paper, but I didn't want to have to draw those details twice, so I just did it this way. Don't usually like making that much mess in the back of my sketchbook with all the scribbles on the back, but I think I'll just erase it later. I don't know what it is about my line work, but today the nib pen was so much easier than yesterday. I think I just had the shakes yesterday and not really sure why. So when I was doing my line work, it was all very shaky, whereas today I was able to control the pen a lot better. So yeah, it made it a lot easier and just a little bit more fun. I also discovered that I was pressing really hard on the tip. So if I press a little bit lighter, it doesn't tear up the paper and get stuck in the end of the nib. And it also just goes along the paper a lot smoother. So I think that that also helped, just a little bit of a technique thing that I had to get down. To pretty it up and fill out the space where the skull is, I decided to do some roses and also draw the little skeleton hand hanging on to the roses. All in all, I think I looked and used around 5 different reference images just to get an idea of what I was going to do. So I knew how I wanted it to be composed. I just needed all of the elements together to be able to do what I needed to. So I found a picture of a skull and then a single rose and then bunches of roses and also the skeleton hand, and just had a look at a few different ones and put this image together. And I really like how it turned out. With the black background here, I was really conflicted about whether or not I should actually paint the black background in. But I ended up deciding to do it, which meant that my leaves on the bottom of the rose had to go because they would have just been floating in mid-air because I didn't have a proper stem on them. So I ended up painting over those leaves with the black ink. So it just looks like it's a single rose with no leaves on it, which is fine. It's just not what I had intended in the first place. But I should have thought a little bit ahead about where my lines were when I was going to put the black ink down. I thought about it a lot around the skull area, but not so much around the rose. I really like the look of this at this point, and then I go in with some lighter watered down ink just to put a bit of shading and shadows on the skull, just to give it a bit more of a 3-dimensional look, but I didn't want to go overboard with it, so I kept it really minimal. And the colour today that I chose was purple. Originally I was going to use red for red roses. I thought that was a little bit cliche, red roses, so I thought why not do purple. I think maybe it would have looked nicer when I think about it now to do red roses, but at the same time I still do like the purple ones. I just think that I went a little bit dark on the rose that is in his hand around the top of it because it kind of blends in with the background a little, and there wasn't really much I could do to salvage that after I'd already done it. After I'd coloured in all of the roses, I then went in with the purple as a little bit darker to do the leaves. And again, it kind of blended into the background, but I really want to stick with just one accent colour for each of my pictures. I think it's really important to learn how to work in monochrome and values, and so sometimes I really struggle with that, and on this picture I felt like I struggled with my values quite a lot. So what I ended up doing to salvage the leaves to make them stand out from the actual flowers was to go in with a white gel pen and put the veins in and outline them with the white gel pen, which I think really helped. I really like how this turned out in the end, and I'm really enjoying looking at these little cards together. They're just so really cute, and I can't wait till I've got a fat stack of them. And here's my final piece. I'm really happy with it. I've been really enjoying watching everybody else's videos on Inktober and over on Instagram, and I can't wait for the rest of it because they've just been wonderful so far. If you've enjoyed my video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.